So here's my Drac taking a little spin around, and absolute blast. I haven't flown this airplane in a while, and it's a great airplane. Very fast, tracks really nicely. But I was also interested in taking out another airplane I haven't flown for a while, which was my AtomRC Whale. And didn't look like it was going to be very effective on the gravel for takeoff, so I had Romulus FPV toss it for me, and after that it flew fantastic. Unfortunately, as these things go, not everything always has to work smoothly. Romulus lost his almost brand new Dolphin in this field out here. We're not quite sure exactly what happened. Looks like a power failure because our last telemetry reading about 300 feet AGL, and we tried to guess and estimate where the plane would be. I sent my DJI Mini out there to scope it out, but no luck unfortunately, so looks like the plane may be lost for good. So this is the great thing about flying with friends, especially my buddy Romulus FPV. We've been looking at this passageway through the trees here basically every time we've gone out flying here. And we've always thought, it's too hard. But he said, hey, let's go out there and actually see if we can do it. So we walked out, made a little bit more space by pushing down some weeds and stuff that have grown from the bottom and moving a couple of the branches out of the way. And all of a sudden, it looked like it could probably be doable. So we lined up with our Nano Goblins and each gave it a shot, and took a few tries, but then we were finally able to make it all the way through. It's definitely pretty narrow, and there's no abort coming out of here. But as you can see, we did in fact manage to do it. Once you've done it once, then suddenly it's not so hard or not so challenging to do it again. Though I did have a few times where it still didn't work. Oh, and how about doing it in the Nano Drac? Believe it or not, this was probably actually a little bit easier, even though it was faster. It just tracked a little bit better, made it a little bit easier to fit through there. It's quite fast going through there, not a lot of room for error, but the Drac handled it great. Speaking of Dracs, here's my buddy Romulus's Nano Drac, and he's got it done up really nicely with this blue carbon fiber vinyl overlay. Looks very snazzy. Don't fly the Drac as often as I'd like. One of the reasons why is it's a pretty loud airplane, pretty fast airplane. Mine does well over 100 miles an hour, and you just can't fly that in some of the places. So there's been a tendency to move towards smaller airplanes that are a little more accessible in a lot of more urban areas. But getting a chance to fly out here in the country just let us open up with some of the bigger airplanes again, a little faster airplanes. And here's the Whale using its landing gear to touch down on the gravel road. Seemed to handle the landing pretty well, but when I turned it around and tried to taxi back, the nose wheel dug in and actually tore free from the glue, so I ended up having to go rescue it. So I might end up just removing the landing gear entirely, because most of the places we fly, there just really isn't a good spot for takeoff and landing with wheels.